This is episode 296 of the Super League Pod. This week it's Cup Week with your fan views and some stats on all the action. Where else will you be getting a Serbian Cup recap, lads? Has Wayne picked well? Can Powell spend Moran's millions for any glory? Which NARL jersey will David buy? And who is Joe Davidson related to? All things we won't really answer on this week's SLP. So get strapped in. It's SLP time. Hello everyone, welcome along to episode 296 of the Super League Pod. This week you have myself, Mark, and I'm joined by St Helens fan David. Hello, St David.
Hello, Mark. Good evening, and nice to speak to you again.
Yeah, it's great. This is your first sort of proper show since you've come on board in the regular rotation this year, so that's quite exciting for you. Hope you're ready for it.
Yeah, I am. I'm excited by it. My friends all think I'm famous now, Mark.
Fair enough. Well, your first test is to tell everyone about our sponsor.
Who is Rob's Toy Shop. You can find a wide range of toys, gifts, rugby league birthday cards, which are very good, and more at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. Visit stores.ebay.co.uk/Rob's Toy Shop, and on any orders over £5 you can earn 5% cash back, and also 1% of your order value will go into the SLP coffers by putting SLP discount at the checkout, which you must do.
Great stuff, thanks to Rob's Toy Shop. So what we've got on the show this week, there's two main themes, I think, this week. The England squad and the Challenge Cup. There are two main themes, but we have got the next stage in the Darryl Powell story to talk about too, and some other bits and bobs of news. We'll have the results from the NRL, and we will talk about the Super League action next week, and it's the start of the Women's Super League, and the Championship's back, so we'll have some Game of the Weeks in those competitions to pick out as well for everyone. But we're going to start with a bit of feedback on a topic that Sarah brought up last week about rugby shirts that you'd wear of other teams without all their sponsors and logos and stuff on, if you can kind of, you know, because you don't want to wear something that's got the other club's badge on, but you might like the design.
I've got views on this, Mark. I've got views on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come to my views in a minute.
Well, we got a view in from Mark Snide's Forgotten Right Foot.
Indeed.
It's a theme that we'll get. But they said Wakefield have a superb home shirt which looks classy and sleek. I'd wear that one without any sponsors or logos. As a Hull FC fan, it would make a good template for a future home shirt with a twist or an away shirt. Home shirt with a twist. God, when anyone talks about home shirt with a twist for Hull FC, I always feel like I can always sense Sarah's dad, Joshua's granddad, sat there getting no
a rum thing.
Yeah, it has to be a regular black and white hoops, and nothing else is acceptable. No,
exactly. No, and I think he's right as well, actually. But I always like the Wakefield shirt. I think it is a belter. I actually don't. I'm not quite as partisan as Macca, who I think came up with this idea.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to wear a shirt of another team, even with the badges and logos, if it's a really good shirt. And Wakefield, actually, I think is one of those. I've actually got Catalan shirts. They're the other team, I think, who are regularly coming up with top class shirts in the Super League.
Yeah, I think Catalan's ISC shirts were
Brilliant.
all really good. There's a bit of a drop off, I think, with their O'Neill's ones, but the Barcelona one was great.
Yeah. I've got a black and gold one I bought at the stadium in Catalan a few years ago, and I'm very happy to wear that. Very happy to. I'd wear any NRL shirt.
Yeah.
No, I've no problem with wearing any NRL shirt. I've got a nice Canterbury shirt that I really like, and that's got nothing. That was from before Tomo going there, and pretty much any of the Pacific Island international shirts I'd wear. Not a problem.
Do you know? Well, yeah, Super League. I probably wouldn't wear another Super League team's top. The closest I've come is I had a Toronto Wolfpack T-shirt, but that was sent as like a free extra in a Mascot Browns order. Went back before they went there two ways into the two companies that they have now. But I've got a Coventry Bears shirt for this year.
You've got a massive shirt collection. I've seen the photographs, Mark. It's like a walk-in wardrobe.
They are all out on display on an open rail, all my sports tops. So, it basically is. I'm looking at them right now. I can spot my Albania national team trading top. There you go. Yeah, but I think pride of joy in there is the Cambridge Trojans jersey from their first season when they were around, which had the Super League pod logo on the sleeve. That's one of my favourites for sure.
Yeah, I can quite understand why. I think I am betting now that the new American League's going to come up with some pretty snazzy looking gear for us to buy through Mascot Brown. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Well, I can't remember what Steve's called his new company. I think it's linked to his White Line Fever branding, and
right.
Of course Phil's got into partnership with Michael over at Chasing Ruse, so they have Chasing Ruse now down under for that sort of stuff, and I'm sure both companies will be happily stocking USA, the NARL gear along with lots of other international gear. But
so between the World Cup and the new US League, there ought to be some fairly nice shirts to add to our collections over the next 12 months, I hope.
Yes, and Karsten's listening on, trembling with how much money he's going to have to spend.
Yeah, but just think of all the money he's saved on flights over the last 12 months.
Yeah, that's fair. Right, let's move then into the news from all that jersey fun.
So, England head coach Sean Wayne has named a 35-strong squad ahead of next Tuesday, that's the 13th of April, training session at Leeds Beckett University. The session will be Wayne's first physical session, sounds interesting, with his players since his appointment more than 12 months ago, as preparation builds towards June's mid-season international against the Combined Nation All-Stars. Yet another shirt, Mark. 7 NRL-based players are included in the squad, and although they won't be at the Leeds session, they will have regular contact with the England coaching team. Zoom coming up, no doubt there.
Yeah.
The squad in full. John Bateman, Wigan Warriors. Tom Burgess from South Sydney Rabbitohs. Darryl Clark, Mike Cooper, Ben Curry, all from Warrington Wolves. Niall Evalds from Castleford Tigers. Herbie Farnworth, who I'd never even heard of before, from Brisbane Broncos. Liam Farrell, Luke Gale from Leeds Rhinos, Oliver Gildart from Wigan, Josh Griffin, Ash Handley from Leeds Rhinos, Zach Hardacre from Wigan, Josh Hodson from Canberra Raiders, Tom Johnston from Wakefield Trinity, Toby King from Warrington, Morgan Knowles, if he's fit, Johnny Lomax from St Helens, Jermaine McGilvray from Huddersfield Giants, Paul McShane from Castleford Tigers, Tommy Makinson from St Helens, Don Manfredi from Wigan, Harry Newman from Leeds, Mark Percival from St Helens, who's not fit either at the moment, Joe Philbin, Stephen Ratchford from Warrington, James Roby from St Helens, Dan Sargison from Salford Red Devils, Ryan Sutton from Canberra Raiders, Luke Thompson from Canterbury, Sam Tompkins from Catalan, Alex Walmsley from St Helens, Callum Watkins from Salford, Elliot Whitehead, George Williams, both from Canberra Raiders.
Yeah, plenty of fan views on this, like people might expect. And the first one comes from Fatboy Rob, who's given himself a different new nickname this week. The Voice of Reason, he's called himself. He said, I've no problem with Wayne keeping his original England squad. If he thinks the players were good enough 6 months ago, they still are now. There's plenty of time to players play themselves in. I'm sure the likes of Truman and Watts will be there or thereabouts come the World Cup. And then there was a load of emojis that he put on that haven't come through to my Word document. So
included a flag.
Yes.
And then Karsten says, if Tom Johnston isn't selected for the World Cup, can we have him for Germany? He was born there.
Well, I don't think you'll have him at the World Cup, Karsten, because you're not in it.
He's going to be playing on the wing, isn't he?
But Karsten's tight in with the German Rugby League. He's a part of that. So I'm sure if anyone can work their magic on that, it's Karsten. Joshua's granddad said, given players like Connor and Watts still have their chance to make the squad, the biggest disappointment seems Wayne has not taken any notice of form or a lack of it. Watkins has passed his sell-by date. Sargenson's a good club man, but not international standard. Gale, only a proper scrum half, never delivers in big games. Newman's got great promise, but hasn't played in 6 months. Manfredi, Gildart, neither played this year, but have a Wigan connection. 4 hookers, ? Lots to unwrap there, David.
Yeah, there's quite a few in there, and then always in our shadow says, given all his old mates in the squad, where the hell is Lockers? Which I think's an interesting view.
I think that's funny. Tom Andrews said, makes sense to keep the same squad with 2 games played since the last one. Funny seeing the dullers crying about Connor. There's only room for one rat boy in the England squad, and it's back to his best Tompkins.
Yeah. So have you got any? I mean, you published a blog on this week, haven't you, Mark? So
yeah. So if people head over to superleaguepod.com and it'll be the second most recent post on there by the time that you're listening to this episode. I wrote basically, I went through all 35 players, plus talked about a few of the players that were kind of on the outside looking in. And so I did that partly because then I don't spend ages talking about it on the show. The sort of overall observations I would make is I agree with some of the things John's saying there about some of the players. There, you'd see that more when you read my piece. I do think that the squad is very full of left centres, and maybe the area that we've always thought we've had the best depth for the last 10-15 years is the sort of middle forwards, your props and whatnot. And I'm not sure we have as good a depth there now at the moment. So I think there's a squad spot up for grabs for a forward who really delivers as the season goes on. And Wayne this isn't his final squad. He's said as much. He's made it clear.
No, of course not.
He was very clear on the BBC that he's talking to all the players in the squad, but also all the players on the fringes of the squad about what they need to be doing to sort of impress him and get in the squad. And I'm sure if people do ask he is looking for from them, then they'll find a way into his reckoning. So I'd be interested to see who maybe that 5th or 6th middle forward is that they put into the squad. Well, probably actually 6th or 7th, because there'll be 5 in the starting 17. So yeah, I'm interested on that point of view. But if you want to see the team that I'd pick right now, head over to superleaguepod.com and find my post. What about you, David?
Yeah, no, I thought... I mean, at the end of the day, it's a training squad. Not a huge amount of movement from where he was last time. And as others have said, there's not been enough rugby played to, really change that a lot.
How much can we judge form when we've only had 2 games?
We've only had 2. We're only basically getting started now.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of time for... players to force their way into Sean